All right, folks, here we go. It's the Google Classroom Fairly Detailed and Highly Unofficial User's Guide Companion video. I'm your host, Jeremy Dudley. I'm going to hopefully give you a nice little tour of Google Classroom. We may not see everything, but I suppose that's what the manual's for. So here we go. The very first thing is a lot of people want to know is how do we get into Google Classroom? Well, if you're signed into your school district account, you can do that right from the Google homepage by going to the waffle iron or to the waffle or the array, whatever it is that you see, and click on Classroom. The direct URL for Classroom is classroom.google.com, so you could go there as well. Now for students to join a classroom, they'll typically go to the plus and then click Join, and they'll enter in a join code that you will provide for them. If you have pre-enrolled your students, they will see a join icon or choice option next to a class that they've been enrolled in. So they have the option to either decline or join. But that will happen if you pre-enroll them, which I'll show you how to do that in just a few moments. You can easily create a class in Google Classroom from the home page, classroom.google.com, by going to the plus in the top right and choosing Create Class. Now, if you don't see Create Class, it's possible that you're enrolled as a student within your school's domain. So you'd want to talk to your tech support team. When you click on Create a Class, you'll see these fields. The top field is the required field, which is class name. The others are optional. And once you create that class, it's automatically going to create the class and a join code that you can use for your students to join your classroom. Once we're inside of our classroom, Classroom is divided into three main sections. There is Stream, Classwork, and People. This is a big change from the old Google Classroom, which was Stream, Students, and About. So when you go to a new one, if you want to check to see that you're in a new one, just make sure that you have Stream, Classwork, and People. And you may notice now in the Stream, things have changed a little bit. And the only thing you could really do in the Stream is share something to your class. And if you want to share something, you just click in the box. Decide which class you want to share it for. So if I click on this, you'll see that all of my classes will open up, and I could share it to multiple classes from there. And if I'm only sharing it to one class, I'll be able to decide which students I will be sharing it with. After that, I'll type in a message, and then I'll decide if I want to attach something from my local device, my Google Drive, YouTube, or if I want to share a link. After I have, so I'll just type in a quick little message, and you'll notice that post lit up. There are also some additional options which will allow me to schedule it or save it. If you save it as a draft, it will show up at the top of your stream for you to come back to later. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel that, and we'll get into the Classwork section. Now the Classwork section has changed quite a bit. It's new, right? And what it did is it allows us to organize our materials, questions, assignments into topics in a little bit different way than you were able to do it in the past. So this here is a topic, and underneath that topic I have some materials and questions and assignments. And I'll show you how we go about creating that stuff. So you go to the Create button, and the first thing I'm going to do is create a topic. And you just simply give the topic a name. Once you have a topic, you could then go through and create an assignment, a question, or a material. And this was kind of a late addition when they rolled things out, but boy are we glad to see it. So if I want to create an assignment, I just click on Assignment. And you'll see once again I can choose who this assignment's for. It could be for one class or for any combination of my classes. And if I'm only choosing one class, I could then choose which students get the assignment, which is a nice way to differentiate your lessons. You would give your assignment a title, give it some instructions, point values if you like, a due date, and you can assign it to a topic. You can also create a topic on the fly, which is nice. Once again, you'll see the paperclip for attachment from your local device, from your Google Drive, from YouTube, or from a link. So you could attach a variety of things to your assignment. And one of the important nuances of Google Classroom is if I attach something from my drive, so look at what that looks like. You'll notice it goes right to your recent files. And if I go into a recent file here, you'll see that I'm able to assign some permissions to that file. So I can have students view the file. I could have everybody that this assignment is being sent to. I could have them edit that same exact file. So they're all in there as editors together. It's great for collaboration. Or I can make a separate copy for each student. And that's like digitally passing out a template to each student for them to complete. So the only way that these options will show up is when you're attaching something from your Google Drive. Alright, so I would go ahead and assign it if I wanted to, which I don't. You can also create questions. There's two styles of questions you can create. And you'll notice again, very similar, right? For, who's it for? Students, the same thing. We can go ahead and type in the question, give some instructions if we want, a point value, date, assign it to a topic. You can create the topic on the fly. All that's pretty standard and similar. Again, attach from our local device, our Google Drive, YouTube, or a link. You can allow students to reply to each other or edit their answer, and that's for short answer questions. You also have the option of asking the students multiple choice questions, which just allows you to populate some choices for them and allow the students to see summaries if you want. Once you have your options typed in, this will light up and you can either ask it, schedule it, or save it for later. Alright, next I'm going to show you how to create a material in Google Classroom. So from the Classwork section, you go to Create, and then down to Material. And you'll decide which class is going to see this material, which students will see it if you're choosing just one class. You'll title your material, give it a description, and decide which topic it's going to, or create a new topic on the fly. Once you've done that, you can decide if you're going to attach something from your local device for the material, add something from your Google Drive, attach a YouTube video, or attach a link for the material. Once you've filled out those fields, you'll be able to come over and post the material to your Google Classroom. Next, I'll show you how to reuse a post. So from Classwork, you go to Create, come on down to Reuse Post. This will pull up your classes or the last class from which you reused the post. So I'll come here. Usually you'll see this as the default, which is your class list, and I'll choose a class to reuse a post from. I'll decide which post I want to reuse, and then click on Reuse, and it takes a moment, and it will open up an assignment because this was an assignment that was originally used. And again, I can decide who it's for, which students, just like as if I was creating an assignment from scratch, and then I could assign it. Next, I want to show you how to create a topic. So you can create a topic just simply by going to Create and then Topic. And what topics do is it gives you these bars here. So if I create a topic and I say sample, it's going to create a sample topic down below. Now, the three dots next to the topic allow you to move, rename, or edit. So I can move the topic up if I wanted to, and then we'll go above the next topic. You can also rearrange items from within a topic. So if I go to this example 1 topic, I could decide that I want this to be the topmost post. So I could just simply move it up, and it will go ahead and do so for me. All right. Other things to note in the Classwork section. We've got our link to a Google Calendar. So this will actually take you to Google Calendar, and it will populate it for you. You could also go to your Google Drive folder right here, and it'll take you to the class Google Drive folder. Alright, and before we leave the Classwork section, just another word or two about the assignments. So you'll notice here under example topic 1, I've got a few questions, and I also have a couple of assignments. And one of these assignments, assignment number 2, I made a separate editable copy for each student. So if I click on the assignment, I get a quick glimpse as to how many students have turned it in, how many were assigned, and how many have been graded. I also see a little thumbnail of what the assignment was, and then I can go ahead and view the assignment to get some additional information, such as who the students are and whether they've turned it in, whether it's just been assigned or whether it's been graded. You'll also see the thumbnails of their work. And one of the really nice things that they've added to Classroom is this following feature. Now this assignment viewer is great because it allows you to move easily from student to student and to review their work just by clicking on these forward and back arrows up here, which is really nice. In addition, you have access to a comment bank. So if you click on the comment bank, this is similar to the Google Keep workflow for those of you who are using that in the past. You can add comments to your bank just by adding in a comment. And once you have comments added, you can just click on the 3 dots and choose Copy to Clipboard, and then return to the panel that was here, You can put the student's grade in, and you can add the comments just by right-clicking and pasting or controlling V, and then posting that comment right from here. You could also post the assignment or the comments in the body of the work just by the traditional, just adding a comment by pasting them in as well. So it's really nice to have that comment bank feature. In addition, you can also show the entire Google Doc menu just by clicking on that arrow that was over here. And if you want to take the assignment out of this viewer and look at the actual doc itself, you can come over here and this will open up the doc in a new window. What I do like is when you expand to this view, you can get to the version history, which is nice. And that's pretty much the assignment viewer in a nutshell. Another thing you can do when viewing an assignment is to access Google Classroom's version of a gradebook. And you can do that from any assignment by going to the sprocket, and then you can choose from the following options. You could copy all grades to Google Sheets, and that would be all grades for all assignments in this class. You could download all grades as a CSV, which stands for comma separated values, and that would open in Excel. Or you could download just these grades as a CSV, again, comma separated values. So choosing from one of these options will allow you to access the grades that you've assigned to students within Google Classroom. Next up, we want to take a look at the People section. In the People section is where you can add co-teachers. You add a co-teacher simply by going to the Invite Teachers icon and typing in the name of the person that you want to add. You'll notice that it says teachers you add can do everything you can except delete the class. All right, that's reserved for the owners of the classroom. Now, one of the ways you can add students is from this spot over here. So we have an Invite Students icon, and you can pre-enroll your students here if you'd like. And that's the way that we'll let them see the fact that they've been joined when they first come to your classroom. So they'll see either join or decline. The other way to have students join is via the code, which we'll go over shortly. You notice with the Students section, you have these little check boxes in front of the students. When you select one of the students or all of them, you can perform some actions. Now, if your district has email turned on, you'll be able to email them. We do not, so we can't do that. You can remove a student or mute the student. So if the student has been contributing in less than productive ways, you can go ahead and mute them, have a conversation, and maybe unmute them in the future. You'll also notice that you have 3 dots over here, which will allow you to email the student if student email is turned on. And you can also invite guardians via the guardian summaries. Next up, we're going to take a look at the settings sprocket up here. So we've got our settings sprocket. And the settings sprocket allows you to see the name of your class, and you can edit that if you want, as well as the section, room, and subject. You also can see your class code from that settings sprocket, and you can display it, copy it, reset it, or disable it. When you display it, it'll show it like this, and if you choose this little icon down here, it will full screen it for you. You have a control on your stream. This will allow you to choose between 3 options. Students can post and comment is the default. That allows students to post to your stream in addition to you and your co-teachers. The next setting is students can only comment. I find this to be a very common setting. It allows teachers to create the posts and then students to reply to them. And the most restrictive setting is only teachers can post or comment. So typically, I find that I use the students can only comment function. You can show deleted items for yourself, and you can also see guardian summaries, which I referenced before. They have a nice little example of them on that page. From the stream, you can also click on About, and About will let you see your class code. This is not the same About that was in the older iterations of Classroom. If you are opening up an older Classroom, you may see About over here on the side now, as opposed to where it was previously. It will allow you to see your materials in the old classrooms. But for the new classrooms, when you click on About, this is all you get. You can choose a theme by choosing Select Theme, and you have a bunch of different options here. So if you want to change the header and sort of the color scheme, you can go ahead and click on that. And you can also upload your own photo if you'd like. They have specific dimensions that they will tell you that you want to use when you try to upload a photo. There are also many blog posts out there about using Bitmojis in your header and all kinds of fun stuff, so you can check that out. The next thing I want to show you is the Classroom main menu. So these three lines over here is how you get to the Classroom main menu. And the Classroom main menu lets you see all of your classes. If you click on the Home button for classes, you'll see them in this view here. But you can also see them just by clicking on the three lines in a list form. And you can get to Calendar by clicking right here. Now when you go to this calendar, it opens up within Classroom, and you can choose which classes you want to view. You can also move from date to date right here. And if you want to get back to today, you just click on this icon up here, and it'll bring you back to today. And you can get to this nice to-do page, which they just recently added back in. Now the to-do page, many teachers like to bookmark this page because it will show all the assignments and questions that you have to review or that you've reviewed. And you manually control this process, but it's really nice. So as it populates, you'll see that I've got these various assignments here. And once I've gone through and graded them, I can decide to come over here and move them to the reviewed section. So that way if I go to reviewed, you'd see all the assignments that I've reviewed. It's just a nice way to keep track of your work. For students, they have a to-do page as well, and it's basically the work that is done or is completed and yet to be completed. Also on the Classroom main menu, if you go down to Settings, you can adjust your notifications settings. So you may notice that you're getting more notifications than you'd like, or you don't want notifications for certain types of activity in your classroom. You can go ahead and customize that in the notifications area of settings. It's also at this time, as I'm talking about the notifications, I'd like to mention the app. If you don't have the app, it's worth downloading. It will allow you to attach photos and videos to posts straight from the app itself. It can be very helpful, and there's definitely a page or two on that in the user guide. And then new and improved, or a new feature, is they have a random name chooser in the app. So it's sort of like the old Destiny sticks, if you're familiar with that, or popsicle sticks with names on them, right? You can do it digitally from your class roster. And if students are absent, you can mark them as absent, and you can make it so that students are skipped and called on later and all that kind of nice stuff. So it's a really nice feature. Download the Google Classroom app. It is free. And in a nutshell, that's Google Classroom, folks. Have a great day.